according to Eddie Hearn, he has received a huge site offer from the Saudis to host the Undisputed fight over there between AJ and the winner of Wilder Fury 2. Now, while I think it was great that they had AJ versus Ruiz over there, and I think it would be great if they had more significant fights in Saudi Arabia and other parts of the world. It's the world championship, right? So you're supposed to fight everywhere. Be that as it may, when it comes to this Undisputed fight, I have to be selfish. I would rather it happened in the UK for history. Britain is the birthplace of the modern incarnation of boxing. I say modern because boxing's probably been around for thousands of years, but this particular incarnation with the Marquis of Queensberry rules started in the UK. And so we've never had an undisputed unification for a heavyweight title fight before in the UK. We've never had that. It would be great for history for us to have it for the first time. It would also be great for boxing overall in this country, because boxing in Britain has lost a lot of momentum since these British fighters started going over to America. I think Anthony Joshua understands this because obviously he was absent in 2019, and that's why he wants to bring the Pulev fight to the UK. He understands that this is where he built his brand, and AJ didn't just help revive the heavyweight division, but he also helped revive boxing in the UK in general. It's like when Derek Chisora was ringside present at the AJ Ruiz rematch. When AJ won, Derek Chisora was interviewed and he said, "Now the money's back in London, baby." See, Derek Chisora and many of the other fighters understand that they've been doing well financially because of the buzz that AJ has created in Britain, in the British boxing scene. Now, I read somewhere a while ago that there were some businessmen in the UK who had a vision. You know, this was around the time that AJ was filling out Wembley several times and doing the Principality. And they had a vision of trying to make London the Vegas of Europe, building loads of casinos and stuff like that. There already is a fair amount of casinos in London. And for those of you who don't know, maybe those of you who are in the United States, the UK is a very gambling friendly country. There's far less gambling restrictions in fact, there's hardly any gambling restrictions in the UK, truth be told. It's nothing like America where it's very restricted and regulated. In the UK, gambling is everywhere. like literally, it's everywhere. It's a big part of British culture, actually, gambling. Now, as I say, these businessmen apparently had this vision of trying to make London the Vegas of Europe. Because at the moment, and this is according to Eddie Hearn, London cannot compete with many of the other international markets when it comes to money. London can't generate as much money as the Saudis can over there, or as much money as, you know, other foreign territories. America at the moment can generate more money for the Undisputed fight. But how much of that is down to the fact that AJ decided to go and fight in America, and many other fighters have decided to go over in America? Is that one of the reasons why Britain doesn't have the money they otherwise would have had to put on these big events and compete with other markets? Maybe. And maybe AJ understands that. Maybe he wants to try and build up again in the UK and have as many fights here as possible. Well, I really don't need to see AJ fighting in the UK every time. No. I think it would be great if he continues to fight overseas here, there, and everywhere. When it comes to the Undisputed fight, whether it's against Fury or Wilder, it has to be here. It has to be, for me, for my own selfish, reasons. Obviously, if it wasn't here and it happened in Saudi or it happened in America or wherever, it's still going to be a great occasion, and I'm obviously still going to tune in and buy the pay-per-view. But as a British person and as somebody who understands the history of boxing, I'd love it to be in Britain. So Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. AJ getting this huge sight offer to face the Wilder Fury winner in Saudi Arabia. And some people are saying the figure could be as high as 200 million in terms of the site fee. And for those of you who don't know what a site fee is, it's simply where an entity, in this particular case, the Saudi government, says, we're going to pay you this flat fee to put on your event in our country. The casinos in Las Vegas used to do this. They used to pay promoters to put the fight on in their casino. These days, I'm not sure whether they still do it. Some people have said they don't. But certainly back in the days, in the 1980s, 90s, etc., the Las Vegas casinos would pay boxing promoters to put their fights on at their casino. And so that's essentially what the Saudis are doing. They are paying Hearn and Joshua upfront money and saying, put your show on in our country. That's what they did last time. That's what they're doing this time, but they're forking up, they're forking out even more, it would seem. Will Deontay Wilder be able to turn that kind of money down? 200 mil? He already turned down 100 mil, but that was for 3 fights, to be fair. This potentially could be a 50-50 split, 100 mil each. I mean, if Deontay Wilder turned that down, if there was any PBC fanboys out there defending that, honestly, they need to be, God knows what. They all need to be thrown in a lunatic asylum. That's what needs to happen to him. Because that's something you just could not turn down. I mean, even if you weren't offered 50-50, even if it was 60-40, and you were getting 40% of 200 mil, you couldn't turn that down unless you were a complete idiot. Anyway, let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. It's happening, I'm out.